Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. There isn't too much to update. I will still give you a quick update. What is very important to say is at the moment, Bitcoin has failed to break above this $20,200 level, which is so relevant. As I told you that if we break above the $20,200 level, then this blue wave count will get unreliable because it means that the wave 2 is normally getting a little bit too strong. So let me explain the entire move down here that we are looking at on the shorter time frame. We are saying that with high probability we could have seen already the wave 1 down, that this was the wave 2, and we are now coming down in a wave 3. We're going to move up in a wave 4, and we're going to come down in a wave 5 to finish off this wave 3 in yellow. As I explained yesterday in the video, there's a lot of bearish pressure on this chart. There's a clear downtrend at play here. I do expect lower lows. There are a few levels above which I would not expect lower lows primarily anymore, and I'm going to tell you which levels these are. And there is one level where this particular scenario will get unlikely, and we're going to see a slight variation of it, which I also explained in the last video, in that if we go above $20,200, the blue wave count is basically the sub wave count of the white wave 3, and this would imply that we had here an A, B, C in a wave 2. I don't particularly like that scenario because it would mean that it was a very shallow wave 2, very shallow. We only reached the 23.6% FIB level, which is very shallow, but you know, sometimes it just is like that. And what is so important is to say, if we now reverse, why is the $20,200 level so important? Because it is, of the blue wave 2, the 78.6% FIB level. You can see how relevant this level was again. We moved up now in 3 waves, and we found resistance at exactly this level. Now, as long as we don't get below the 19,770 level, there's a good chance we go higher. But on the other hand, as long as we stay below this level, this wave count in blue is valid. So at the moment we're sitting here a little bit on the fence. There's a bit of a decision point here at the moment. We want to wait until it plays out to let us tell what the market, or what is the next most likely move. So for me, if we break above this $20,200 level, and I'm not talking about a wick or anything, no, it needs to be a substantial break. So we want to see maybe a move above that level and then retest and then move higher. Then we are going to assume that this wave 2 was never finished. That's possible as well. We'd have to say that the wave 1 finished actually here, or even here. That's all possible. And then we're in a wave 2 retracement that could take us possibly all the way up to 22,100. If we go above 22,100, then we have a level reached which where we would basically say that the bearish scenario here is getting a little bit unreliable. And why is that the case? Because again, this is the 78.6% FIB level, so the 22,100 level. It's just that a wave 2 that goes beyond that particular level normally gets unreliable. So these are the 2 key levels that will bring us into a different wave count. At the moment, I assume we had that shallow wave 2, and I assume that we are currently creating here this blue wave 2 that might be finished, and we're gonna sell off next if this is the correct wave count. But as I said, if we go above the $20,200 level, then the white wave wasn't finished. So that means that all of this will then happen a little bit later from a higher price point of view. And that's basically still where we are. We were pretty much at the same price point yesterday in my last update video, so we need to be a bit patient here, let the market dictate what is going to happen, and then we can react to it. But overall, I would be looking still generally at lower prices. Doesn't really matter if we go down straight away or if we see this wave 2 to the upside. That is not anything that I would particularly be aggressively trading. What I did around this price level here, I did accumulate a little bit of BTC, just a little bit. That's what I do regularly anyway, accumulating very, very regularly low quantities to put them on the cold wallet. But it's not really a trade. However, I might consider taking some profits if we see a decent wave 2 here. Other than that, in terms of larger accumulation, I will probably not consider doing anything until we reach roughly the $16,000 level, because this is sort of the next larger target here that we have on the chart anyway for the yellow wave 3, and then there's only one more wave down, ideally to finish off this bear market. So we'll see. Yeah, I'll keep you updated, honestly, and obviously. So yeah, we just need to wait here if we break above 20,200, and if we go below the previous swing low, which is 19,770, that will be a strong indication that this move up is over, that we're heading down in a wave 3 in blue, so basically the wave 3 of the wave 3. And if we then also break below the 19,400 level, which was a key level as well, where we had support here, resistance here, some resistance here, it was a breakout point, we had support here, then I think we are heading, that's basically the confirmation that we need, that will tell us that we're heading down. Quick update about the longer time frame wave count, because I always get some questions about it. I do show these regularly, but I can't update them in every video, just purely because, you know, it would just be a lot of repetition and the videos would get too long. So if we look at the main Bitcoin chart here, then go to the daily chart, this count overall assumes that Bitcoin moved up in a wave 1 in May 21 or April 21. We came down in a wave A, we moved up in an overshooting wave B, and we're now coming down in a C. Now that might be finished, might not be finished, but I primarily think it's not finished. That's why I still expect lower lows for Bitcoin in the region around 15 to 16K ideally. Yeah, and after that we would move up in a wave 3, and the target for that would be at least $116,000. But that is sort of the long-term target, right? There are other ways of counting this, absolutely, but my view is that this was a wave 1, we're now in a wave 2. Yeah, you basically have to assume we're in a wave 2 because it is a very strong retracement, and that this then was an A and B. Now, if we say, okay, maybe, and you can count it like that, this was a wave 3, this was a wave 4, this was wave 5, and we finished a cycle, that would then be a larger wave 1, and then we'd be coming down in a wave 2 as well. That has then a little bit more downside potential. But yeah, basically, you know, this is sort of what it is. You can also count the entire move down. So basically leave the level, the wave 1 where it is, that this was wave W, this a wave X, this as a wave Y, and we can count this as an A, B, C. That's possible as well. In the end, they don't make a great difference here in the very short term, and all of them won't give us a better clue as to if the current correction is finished or not. So this currently is one that worked out very nicely since November for me, and I will keep it until it gets invalidated. But yeah, that's my view, and overall we should expect prices over $100,000 definitely in the next bull run. But for that we need to make a new all-time high first, and then we have these targets. Okay, and that's my update about Bitcoin. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.